I'm gonna drop what I seen, and this just also adds in some perspective. There, put that down. We should be good to go. Good to go. Good to go. Right. Shout out to everybody making it here early. Almost having 100 people on Zoom shows the dedication and consistency. You guys are serious about your money, your equity that you have here enabled in this market. So let me go ahead and share my screen. There we go. Issues. All right. So let me go ahead. Ellie, thoughts and breakdown. But there's a couple notes I actually dropped into the side combos real quick. But just over the past month, I want you to think about some of the names, right, that we have seen. Hold on 1 second. I got to figure this out. Why are people able to do that? 1 second. Not no one's fault. It's mine. 1 second. No drawings on. Yep. Please, no drawings. No drawings at all. All right, cool. Perfect. We should be good. All right. So let's talk correction numbers first. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and look at some of the brutal. We're going to run through all your favorite tickers. And you guys know I'll just be making a joke because it's not your favorite tickers, but you guys know exactly what I mean. Hold on. Wait a second. Why the hell does this keep happening? I just changed this. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. I want this to be played around with on my Zoom. So if you're doing that iPhone, and I'm about to figure it out, but if you're playing on this Zoom, please do not do that we got 100 people. It's here at 6:30 in the morning. Please don't do that. We want to make sure that people are getting fed the right information. So if it's an accident, it's an accident. If you forgive my ignorance when it comes to all these Zoom settings, I thought we would have been here by now. Let's get to it. Cool. So here we go. Screen share. So RGTI, RR, SMR, IONQ, right? DUOL, CoreWeave, QBTS, OKLO, right? You also take a look at BM&R, HIMS. We talked about HIMS, RKLB. Oracle is down 30%. So you think about it in the past month, right? This is just, something I've seen on Twitter. I like to go to Twitter sometimes. I stay off it. I see some drama on there. But nonetheless, right, with the brutal reset over the past month and just these growth names, you got to consider that the NASDAQ hasn't even barely went down 5%, right? So these names have already, this is why I always stressed, right? Remember when the market's at an all-time high, what do I stress? What's my statement that I made? The first tickers to go are usually, right, the most frothy names, right? The first tickers to go are usually the ones that are the most frothy. So what do I mean by that? Those names that go first, keep this in mind from a perspective. You have RGTI, RR, CoreWeave, which we've discussed and highlighted. So now we're now in a correction already on these names, right? These names have already corrected before the NASDAQ or any indice has corrected. So when I asked the question, okay, we see we got Bitcoin here at 96K. We're breaking through this diagonal trend line. We also have QQQ. Unfortunately, QQQ is going to come down here below this $600 level, 599. So now when I'm seeing this across, obviously, I'm seeing this across the board. We're seeing this move here down, right? So next stop is 90K. We're at 96,000 now, 90K. So on my notes, I actually have covered this, and I'm gonna actually have a PDF document as well for you that'll be out by this morning, right? But Bitcoin correction zones and levels, right? So from here on out, right? So I want you guys to pay attention to 72 and 74K and 68,000, right? So I want you to watch these levels, right? So BTC, it sounds crazy talking about BTC coming down below 100K, but here we are. Now, I don't see Bitcoin breaking below 50,000 ever again, right? So 50,000 is my floor. If I'm wrong on that, I'm just wrong. But 50K, let's say it gets down here to 56, 64,000. What do you think you're going to do? Better question is, what do you think these institutions going to do? Because now What I want people to think about is, remember, we were at 125K. So I want to kind of set some perspective in for a second, right? 125, 126K. Remember, Bitcoin is used to having some pretty solid pullbacks, right? Remember, we peaked out at 70K and then we dropped to 15. Everyone at 15 is spooked about it. No one wants to buy it. Everyone, is like, no, I'm not getting into it. And that was the last drawdown. Remember hearing for those that may have not experienced it, but Bitcoin hit 20,000 for the first time and then pulled back to about 3,500, right? So right here, when Bitcoin dropped, no one, I remember, because at 3,000 now a coin, no one wanted to buy Bitcoin. So I want you guys to understand these drops that we see on Bitcoin will only still be higher than the previous drop. So the last time we dropped, we went to 3.5. Well, the 2 times ago we dropped, we went to 3,500. Time before that, we 5x'd it, 15.5. If we take a 5x, let's just say we take a 5x, and go 15, right? And we go 15 times 5. The bottom, realistically, if we do take that and say, okay, every time Bitcoin's floor is 5x from what the last floor was, we would be roughly around 75,000, right? Now, not to say that that's the magic number, but that's really what it's meant each time when you think about it, right? Uh, every time that we've seen that, every time we've seen this drop is 5x, right? From the last time, as far as bottom wise. So to me, the sweet spot, if I told you you could get Bitcoin at 50 and it was once at even 125, you're taking that. If I'm telling you that at 125, I can get you Bitcoin at 50, 60, even maybe 70K. But now that Bitcoin's coming down, right, and it's at 95,000, the fear starts to set in. Now the same assets that we saw run, even in the stock market, right, that everyone wanted at these high prices are now dropping and dwindling. This is where now studying the DNA. So some people might be asking, yo, L, why you been up since 3 a.m.? I've been up since 3 a.m. because I've been through a few of these cycles. Some people say, yo, why are you doing so many classes? Because I've been through a few of these cycles. I want to make sure when this thing drops down and we're able to get assets at great prices, when the stock market comes back up, when the crypto market comes back up, there's no confusion about who's true to it or who's new to it. Because it's very easy to come out when everything's running. Called it, I called it, I called it, I called it. It takes another level of focus and dedication to come out when the markets start coming down. When your portfolio, everyone's probably got a little bit of taste in their blood in their mouth. But when the market comes down, you got to show up even more. And like I always say, anytime that the market has shown me to come down, you guys have seen me, I've came out more. 2022, this space was quiet, was loud. 2025, February, March, this space was quiet. I was loud. Now you're about to see this space, especially if we start seeing some corrections, it's going to get quiet. I'm going to be loud and louder. That's why I take this thing very seriously. Not only is you guys' money on the line, my money is on the line as well too in this market. And these are the type of things that we really want. Unfortunately, it comes with some pain, right? I had some conversations with my sister out of Philly, and one of the things we spoke about was, boom, this is the time where you got to double down. You might have to cut back on some things, hit some OT, right? Do a little bit extra, raise some cash, do some things. You got to do more to get more out of life. And that's what I told people, 100% of the time, right? This is where you can get made. This is going to make or break some people. It's just the reality. This is going to make or break some people. Here, this is what I want to talk about now. Let's talk levels and let's talk numbers and corrections. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to go ahead and pull out your calculator. I want you to take the all-time high, which is 637. I want you to times that by 10%. You should have 63. After you do that, 637, I want you to minus that. So you can go ahead and minus that by 63. That means 574 is the correction zone. Funny enough, we got a support level here at 574. So the QQQ could fall another 25, needs to fall another $25 until we even talk about a correction. I just want to put that out there. 10% drop from a high is a correction. Well, what's a bear market, right? Let's stick to the numbers. right? Let's stick to the numbers. It said I took your Nvidia long stock. Now I'm up 30,000. Once again, new to this, not true to this, but we're gonna get to NVDA here in a second. Now, because Nvidia is the market, right? Because of how high asset allocation it is, right? So now let me go to ETF.com and let's talk numbers and facts. And let's go ahead and look at this QQQ. I want you to put 637 times that by 20%. That's $127. So roughly that's going to take you right there to around 510. So we can't talk until 510 bucks about anything based upon QQQ right around here in this area. So erasing the gains back till May would put us in a bear market. Not to say a bear market is happening, but just to add perspective. So you can't ask about a bear market unless we get to those levels, right? So that's just to add some perspective for everyone there. And let's talk equities, these, because we still have a lot of equities that are sitting at 52-week highs or relatively close to it. Some names which are down, right? So you got BTC, which is came down. Now, what's going to be the thing that I would look at as far as a barometer to tell what are the frothy names? The innovation ETF, well, ARK ETF. We're about to start having that conversation now. Unfortunately, and this is the piece of it, right? I love Cathie Woods. I appreciate her for everything she's done. She's done an amazing job. Her ETF was up from $40 to basically $90 in a matter of 6 months. What does that usually lead to? Selling. Now, look, last time that Cathie Woods had a run like that, it went from 40 bucks all the way to 160, right? And then it dropped very fast from 160 all the way to 100. If you do the math, February to May, so that was a 3-month fall off. So the ARK ETF, I'll be watching 68 just to add the levels back, 68.54 underneath 71.62. Now, what's the biggest tickers within the ARK ETF? Of course, you have Tesla, so ticker TSLA, is getting cooked here this morning, right? Tesla's moving here to this downside. It's getting cooked, right? And a lot of this just happened really over. I mean, funny enough, like, and sometimes these things just happen out of the blue, right? Because you think about it, Tesla opened yesterday at 4:30. Now we're talking about Tesla being all the way down here, and excuse me for not having it charted all the way on here, but we'll fix it real easy and quick, right? I'm not sure why it wasn't. But one of the things that I will say with Tesla, right, it was about to come down now. In my opinion, Tesla probably has a little bit more room, more room to fall, just as far as how aggressive the nature was. We kept waiting on Tesla. I mean, the setup was there plain as day, but the volume and the market got itself into trouble. So we just weren't able to break out, right? So now Tesla is sitting here drawing down. It hit here at 386 here in the pre-market, closed yesterday at 402. So now ticker TSLA drawing down again. Then once again, these corrections, sometimes because it takes one day, sometimes, and boom, look at this break to this downside, broke underneath 410, 412 yesterday. A shout out to my sis there. Shout out to Marnie, sister out of Philly. We was just having some discourse yesterday about it, and this is what it did. Came down here, so it's just one of those things where Tesla just moves fast, and it could be the same way to the upside, to the downside, right? So ticker TSLA, you have that there. Now let's get to good old Palantir, right? So Palantir, ticker PLTR. Shout out to good brother Daniel on the West Coast. I'm sure he may be up and or he'll be getting on this Zoom here if he's not already. But Palantir came down here underneath 170 bucks. We were talking about it yesterday. We said either it's going to form a DB, a double bottom, or because we could see all of these buyers here, but guess what? Overnight, those buyers did not step in. So now Palantir is on the way to 161 bucks. Now, this is one of the most frothy names that is inside the ARK ETF because of its valuation, right? Its valuation is one of the main reasons why we see this move here on the downside. So QQQ, SPY, and both selling off. NVIDIA selling off. We're going to get to them. Amazon, ticker AMZN. We talked about that one yesterday. But now you got right here. Now you understand that there's no correction on the QQQ until 574. So put that down on your notes. Anything else is in between. We have officially entered pullback territory where pullback is 5%. So correction would be all the way here at 574. Where's a bear market? 510 on the QQQ and the NASDAQ. So you got ETF.com. Of course, because NVIDIA accounts for such a huge part asset allocation wise. So let's go here to NVDA, right? Ticker. We're going to go solo screen on NVIDIA because we want to look at it full scope. Let's go full wide on this bad boy. So NVDA currently right now, NVIDIA actually broke here on the downside. So we do have NVIDIA right now, stock price, and just want to get some numbers, core numbers. We're here at 182. So watch NVIDIA below. I have a line drawn in the sand here at 178.82. So you can put that level. That's the low of the week, right? Well, low of the week on Friday from last Friday. So we're seeing NVIDIA, if it breaks through this 178, where is it going to next? 174, 169.02, 160 underneath there. But let's talk levels and numbers. Past 5 days, right? It's been a lot of, we just kissed 200 the other day, right? And now we're breaking down here again. So let's talk levels, especially with NVIDIA, because they are going to go ahead and report earnings, right? They are going to go ahead and report earnings. So, yep, you can go ahead and head to YouTube. So we are live on YouTube as well. So we are live on YouTube. Yep, we're live on YouTube. So now we got 182. I want you guys to watch this area and this level. But let's take a look at NVIDIA and calculate a few things. So earnings are 5 days away. Earnings will be 11/19. For those that don't know, right? Make sure that you guys understand that earnings come on 11/19. So the 11/19, pay attention. You got 174.72, 169.02. So let's go out to this weekly time frame now. Couple things to note. I mean, we go back to April. This stock is up from $86 to 210. I always tell people this. It's harder to call a top than a bottom. Bottoms are, I won't say easy to call, but bottoms are pretty. It's pretty smooth to call. If you can call a bottom, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can call a bottom. A top is way harder because just when you think the top is in, market pulls right back up. That's why tops are much harder to call. Bottoms are easy, especially when stocks are hitting real really great valuation levels. So I'm looking at NVIDIA here today and I'm like, ideally, right? I don't need any underneath 164 would cause an extreme amount of pain. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Underneath 164, right? So a lot of people are gonna ask, well, L, what's the best price for NVIDIA? And I'm gonna say this up front, right? I'm gonna say this up front. Some people don't want to hear the best price. I'm gonna be honest. You may not want to hear the best price for NVIDIA, but guess what? I'm gonna give it to you anyway, because this is just the reality. No, these are just the facts, right? We don't really deal with too much fiction around here. So the reality is that's the best price sits at $100. $100. So I want you to take 100 and I want you to divide that by $3.51 EPS. You should come out with about 28. So listen, guys, there is really no best price on NVIDIA until $100 realistically. Now, notice last time it came here briefly underneath 100. NVIDIA has increased their earnings a little bit since the last time, which is good. But $100, no good price, no best price. Let me make sure I say that. No best price. A good price will be in between 120 and 140. So NVIDIA has added this, going to 5 trillion off of a lot of speculation. And this is where the market gets into trouble, is when everything's running off of a deal. I got an OpenAI deal, but I'm going to get one too. I'm going to get one. AMD, I'm going to get one. I work with OpenAI. I need an OpenAI. That's where the market's got itself in trouble. OpenAI ain't even publicly traded, but I want you to think about this. OpenAI over the past few months has added over $1 trillion worth of market cap to a multitude of companies. Just keep that into perspective. A company that isn't public yet has added over $1 trillion to many companies that we discuss market cap in the past 3 months. So listen, it sounds good when Lisa Su and Lisa Su and company comes out and says, we got these lofty expectations. It's another thing when you got to step to the podium and you got to deliver on those numbers. And like I said, the businesses that don't have substance, they will get slaughtered faster than what you know. These things come down. So this isn't to strike fear in no one's mind, but this is just for a reality check, right? Because now we've had it to where the VIX, it doesn't know what it wants to do. Let me show you real quick. So the VIX is 1 second breaking above and hitting here. We're hitting 22. We're back to 22 again. The next question is, can the VIX actually break out and head towards 25? If we get to 25, I'm gonna tell you here right now, this VIX get to 25, where it's going, 30, get ready, buckle up. Market's gonna be coming down sharply. Bitcoin to be underneath 90K. You play with it if you want to. 30 is where the VIX is going over 25. We're at 22 now. If we reverse here, market to come back up. But this is make or break. We're a DT tweet away or a BS press conference away from being at 25. He best not get in front of the podium and talk crazy. I'm going to tell you that right now. He better not do nothing crazy, which we know he's likely to do. If DT goes off the hinges and does something, I'm telling you here now, 25 will get cracked. Let me also tell you a scenario. The Federal Reserve, if the Federal Reserve don't give the market what it was promised, it won't like it. 25 will get cracked. No rate cut? Okay. You play with that if you want to. Right? JP and company, you better give that rate cut. Because I'm going to say it right now. The VIX will be over 25. It'll be ticked off. Because why? The market for the past 6 months has priced in these rate cuts. It says, oh, JP's going to give us those 3 cuts into the year. So when the market starts pricing things in, it almost seems as if it's a guarantee. And so when that happens, your riskiest of risky assets, they all ran to the upside. So you got top companies, running nonstop. Top companies running nonstop, and then you got your frothy investments, the names that I just showed you that was down 40%. And, I'm laughing about it because none of those companies have earnings. When you listen to their earnings calls, they all talking about a bunch of nothing. I cut it on for 5-10 minutes, it's over with. Because you ain't got nothing for me. And that's what investors and traders realize, oh man, this thing ain't got nothing. So they'll let it go with no problem. No problem. You ain't got nothing, no earnings, cool. Sell button. The same tickers that run to the upside fast always come down 10 times faster. They always come down 10 times faster. When the market is in a risk on type appetite, those names tend to run. When this VIX start cooking, those names get toasted, burnt up, chopped up, cooked. However you want to slice and dice it, that's what happens. Now, where's the areas that we should be paying attention to the most? JPM and Goldman Sachs. If we start to see outflows, I said this in the beginning of the week. Now my baby's getting cooked. That means it's night time because JPM busts through this 300, it's over. This market is coming down. Goldman Sachs break through where it's about to come to now. Pull up ticker GS. When the banks start to fall, it's hard. It's hard for the Dow to do anything when the banks start to fall. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. You are about to see potentially here as we see Goldman Sachs. Get ready. GS, night. Goldman Sachs, put this level on your chart, 780, 772. Put those alerts because I'm going to say it loud. If JPM and Goldman Sachs start getting cooked, like I said it earlier in the week, JPM get cooked and hit that 320, that was all she had. It's over with. So if JPM and Goldman Sachs start getting cooked, that DIA is going to get smoked real nice. Caterpillar start coming down. Ticker CAT 553. But let me ask you something. When you go and drive past, right, your JPMs, probably don't drive past too many Goldman Sachs. But when you drive past and you see these Caterpillars, ask yourself if these businesses still working. I don't want people to get caught up so much in the short-term noise that they forget that these are actually functional, profitable businesses. Don't miss that. The stock price and the business, two different things. At some point, people got to take what? Profits. So you're seeing the equity wipe, really not because of anything, really more so than we ran for 6 months and certain things can't justify their valuations. I don't think any of us thought Nvidia was going to be knocking at 200, so fast. We blinked twice, and next thing you know, Nvidia is at 200. We like, oh snap. So now you have to factor in of how much growth has been baked into these equities, and think about it. Why wouldn't people take profits off the table, right? Beg the question to ask: why wouldn't you take profits off of a SoFi Technologies, which is ran virtually off of optimism, right? No disrespect to SoFi, but hey, you coming down right now, baby, and it's okay. It is a-okay. The SMH ETF alone, just to add this perspective, you had TSM hitting 300, you had SMH now, right here at 336, but SMH here was almost a $400 ETF. Just think about that. $400. Here they dropped, they were trading relative around 250, 260, 240. They dropped to 160, 170 and exploded. Like, we don't usually see ETFs double, not in a year. Just think about that. The SMH ETF from the low of April was up almost 100%, just like the ARK ETF. So that lets you know how much semiconductor names, right, we're running. You also have ticker MU, which is still showing some good relative strength. Relatively, they're still at an all-time high at 234. AMD, which is still relatively near an all-time high here at 241. NVIDIA, lo and behold, even with their $30 pullback, they're still at a good level, 181. So the gains, like I said, when we do, what I would make sure to understand is that these ETFs, they're not, I mean, SMA should have, I won't say should have never, but it's not normal, right, for an ETF like that to go up 100% within a year, right? So we started seeing, to me, some abnormal gains, and some companies just couldn't really justify their earnings. Now, that wasn't the case. We'll see the case here with NVIDIA, but would really be a bad thing, right? Is if NVIDIA comes out and misses. Oh boy. All I'm going to say is if NVIDIA comes out and misses next week, that'll be the worst thing to happen because NVIDIA starts to drag down other names, right? So now we have to pay attention to the banks, NVIDIA. Those are definitely our heavy watch areas. So if we do see, right, the banks and NVIDIA start to pull here on the downside, this market will come down. So you got your levels for Goldman Sachs and JPM, which should, right, just print money, but it ain't printing it right now. Is getting ready to break below 300. So if we get below 300, it's lights out. This thing will be at 290, 280. We'll be talking about the QQQ at a correction zone. So what can be, because we're about 2 bad days away, only 2. Let's go back to the QQQ. We're 2 bad days away from a correction. We're a DT tweet and a Federal Reserve non-interest rate cut from a correction. Those are 2 things. Now, last week, what was the blame for the market coming down? Government shutdown, deal is signed now. So market rallied, but now it's giving back those gains that it had from Friday's low. So now this Friday, right, put this into perspective for people. We're back at the same low that we were at almost at 12 o'clock on last Friday when we sat on Zoom. So everything that happened this week, all pretty much wiped away. Finito. In a day and a half, a session and a half, gone. Right? Finito. Like that. VIX is back at 22. So add some perspective to a couple of things here. BTC, Bitcoin, which is inverting this diagonal trend line. BTC boys, not feeling good this morning. All right? Us BTC people, we ain't feeling good this morning. But BTC is about to go take a nap. It ain't dead, right? There's a difference between something taking a nap and being dead, right? I think a lot of times when things drop, people quick to say something's dead. Oh, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. This is just going to take just a nap. But if I told you at 125, you could probably get it at 75K, you'd be asking me when. TikTok, time's ticking. Look at this. Look at this diagonal trend line. We're about to close here on a weekly on this. This weekly candle going to be closing pretty soon, right? So we already broke down. We're breaking this trend that we've had set in here since September of 2024. So now 90K, 85K, 77K. We seen what happened last time. It got to 73. So you understand that if it comes down here to 73K and it loses that, don't come and test these levels. So you're looking at Bitcoin, like I said, I don't see it getting underneath 50K. If I'm wrong on it, I'll be wrong. What I'm going to tell you here now, though, Bitcoin is going to go to sleep. GTS. And it's going to go to sleep. It's going to take a nap. It ain't dead. So don't be following those narratives. Let's talk the next thing, because now I got some opportunities for you. We got ETH. Let me pull up Ethereum. Because if Bitcoin is going to go take a nap, Ethereum is going to go take a nap too. Right? So we got ETH. Once again, we like to be proactive, not reactive. Notice I mentioned ETH over the past 3 weeks. As 3-4 weeks, I've been mentioning ETH anytime I could talk about it. But let's talk numbers and facts. $3,100 a share on ETH right now. What's the worst case scenario? I've only been saying in the past few weeks, $1,700 to $2,100. So you know that. Well, where should you be getting ETH? It's these two levels. You could get it right between. ETH is at 65. Get ready to buckle up. Because if ETH come down here to $22, I don't want no questions about it. You got an opportunity to buy an asset. If ETH gets down here to $2,000, $22 to me is going to be your best price. Best price, $22, the way you want to slice and dice it. 40 is worth a shot. At 40, do you drop a bag? Yeah, probably not. But you probably pick up a couple because 22 may never come. The worst case scenario, you get it at 40. I'm telling you here now. ETH get underneath $2,900. I'm going to tell you here now. ETH 2,900. I want you to put that in the chat. 2,900. I want you to watch ETH. ETH should be somewhere around 50, maybe $55. I want to stress this. When it comes to ETH, it is a 2x levered ETF of Ethereum. So you make 2 times the money to the upside, but you lose 2 times the money to the downside. I'm telling you here now. The only 2 things I want to talk about is only Ethereum and Bitcoin and maybe Solana. Other than that, XRP is trash. I don't want to talk about XRP. It is garbage. I'm done with people running with XRP nonsense. I don't care about it. We ain't talking XRP. It's in the same spot when I was a boy. In 2017, I was still a boy. And it's in the same spot and nowhere near higher. Ethereum is higher. Bitcoin is higher. XRP, I'm done with it. I don't want to hear nothing about XRP. If you trade it, you trade it. Cool. You can make money off of anything. I don't want to hear about nothing about making money. You can make money off of anything. Trade it. XRP boys, don't want to hear about it. I don't care about that. BTC boys, you best believe we want to talk about it because it's a finite asset. So Ethereum here now. ETH, $42. Good price. Take your shot. 22, load the boat. Because now at $20, ETH is going to be down here 2,100, right? 1,700 in between that range. That's a good price to buy. Remember, you wanted ETH at 4,800. I'm telling you, you might got a shot to get it at 1,700. You should be giddy about that. That's what you should be giddy about. ETH getting it at $20. Dude, I'm excited about that. Because $20, I've already seen what it could turn to 100, 150, 200. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to ETH. So we should be getting giddy about those things. That's what we should be giddy about. You should be jumping. You should be excited about that. Ethereum and all of that good stuff. ETH, when you got instruments like this available for you to be able to take advantage of quality. Once again, these ain't trash things. These are quality. And just for my reference of XRP, I'll give it a little bit of light this morning, but I'm not giving it no more than 60 seconds, right? I'm done hearing about this doggone thing. All right, so let me come here to XRP. Where we at? Let's get it. You see now, I ain't even got it right. Let's see. I Can't even get a good XRP. That's how much I don't like this trash piece of nothing. Let me be nice this morning. Be nice. There we go. This is where the trash I can show it. So what we talking about XRP for? $2.25. Like I said, here in 20, this ain't even over its all-time highs from that. What are we talking about? Let's pull up BTC, please. Well, we don't even need to. We don't even need the big dog, right? Like I could find better things to do. You could find so much better things to do with your money than put your money in XRP. Let's just talk about it. Where was Ethereum, guys? Ethereum here at its peak, 1400. Where is Ethereum today? Double the price. Where is XRP? Conversation's done. Nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about here when it comes to XRP. All this stuff, all this extra stuff, nothing to talk about it. That joint ain't hitting $10. It's trash. Garbage. Done with it. Last thing I'll give is the note on I could pull up SOL. Solana got better returns than this garbage. Hot garbage. Look at Solana. Hold on 1 second. Let me get the right S. Solana. There we go. Go. 1 second. There we go. All right, guys. And the funny thing is, Solana wasn't even out, and it's already outpacing them. I don't want to hear about no dog on XRP. Trash, hot garbage. The banks are using it. The same thing I heard in 2017 is still trash. We done with it. I just toasted it. Look at this. Look at Solana. 18 bucks. Peaked out at 300. Here at 138. What conversation we having? Your money better off in Solana. And by the way, let me give you some notes, right? Solana at 94 bucks, that enters a distribution phase. That enters a distribution phase for you guys. Solana at right there at 94 bucks. That's going to enter a distribution phase. So I cooked XRP this morning. I'm sorry. I just had to do it. Enough of that. We don't want to hear about it. It's garbage, trash. We move on. BTC, Ethereum, Solana. Those are your three. If you need three, you got it. So there you go. You got it right there. Your money be better off in MicroStrategy playing around. Get some MSTU. They both the same price relatively. Your money's better off in MSTU. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. MSTU. Your money's better off in MSTU. Here at $1.56. Let's talk about it. Your money's better off in MSTU. What are we talking about? MSTR. Let me get it up, please. Bitcoin, appreciate you for your time. Sorry I had to cook XRP. They just fell to their knees. Right? So here at 196 bucks, 96 bucks. Worst case scenario is playing out. You're now looking at not XRP. You're now looking at MicroStrategy, right? Strategy Inc. Coming down here to probably 150 bucks, maybe even lower. So what does that mean, right, for MSTU, right? What does that mean for MSTU? But that means this thing is going to continue to drop as well, too. But you got a high risk, high reward. Are you betting long term on Bitcoin? Yes, you are. Right? So MSTU gives you an opportunity for exposure. So I got a question. I would go ahead and wait to do this. Wait till you see these levels. 75 cents. It'd be like going to the store and getting a Starburst candy bar. $1. That's going to be the next load range. Don't buy no more until you get there. Don't buy no more. Whatever you got there, leave it. Forget about it. Let it sit there, whatever you got there. We all got it somewhere in between $2 to $2.50, right? For the most part, that's where majority of us got exposed to. I'm telling people now, don't buy no more until we get here. And let me explain. We're at $1.56. That means we're at $196, right? So if MSTU, you make 2 times the money to the upside, but you lose 2 times the money to the downside. Let me explain. So if MicroStrategy, for goodness gracious, comes down here to 117 bucks, here's the part about, and let me go solo screen real quick. We'll come right back to MSTU, right? Here's the hard part about this, right? When a stock goes up super fast, it don't leave no room for error. What do I mean by that? So because MicroStrategy came up so fast, when they're coming down, just unfortunately, the way it works is when it comes down 10 times faster. So that's why we see MicroStrategy here at 196, right? So I would watch underneath 181. There's nothing stopping this thing for another $30. That's why I say, like, When it comes to MSTR, 150 is probably, I would say, 70 to 80% likely. 70 to 80% likely that we get there. So I'll say this: sit on what you have on MSTU. We got it at $2, 75 cents to $1.25. I would set some buy orders for 75 cents. Set some buy orders for 75 cents. Put $500 over there, $1,000 over there. Let's see what it does when Bitcoin comes back. Forget about it. Forget about it. Because guess what? MicroStrategy, BTC is going to come back one day. Then when MSTU gets back to 6, 7, 8, 9, $10, and we're sitting there like, all right, man, now, I could have done this, but it's going to come with some pain. That's the thing about these drops is it comes with pain. 2022 was not easy, and everybody knows that. But those that stayed down, you benefited the past 3 years, right? You would say, man, if I had to experience a little bit of pain right now to get the reward, would I do it? The answer would be yes. But in the moment, everyone is thinking sometimes, hey, every day you're going to look at your stuff and you're going to be green. It's not how it gets done. That's a false reality that I think sometimes is spread. You're going to have some blood in your mouth. Some people might be about to hit the fetal position for the first time. I've been there a few. And I can be transparent about it, where you sick to your stomach, like, damn. But then there's also that time when the market, you look and you say, damn, this thing is running. I remember when I was in that fetal position. I remember when I was like, damn, this thing getting cooked. And you was like, now you like, man, this thing, boy. So that's what I want to say to everybody here now is focus on, listen, in the short term, it's about to be some pain. I just want to put that out there. In the long run, it's going to be prosperity, though. Pain to prosperity. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. That's going to be pain to prosperity. Short run is going to be some pain. Anything worth having, though, is going to come with a little bit of something, some hard work. Best price list. We on YouTube and we on live. So, we can't give out too much. But just know that that's going to drop for all of us here on Sunday. This is the time to double down on your education, to get serious about this thing. Don't get loose with it and don't quit. This is the time where every rep gets a little bit heavier. Every rep gets a little bit harder. But this is the time that it's going to make you. Because you're going to look back when this market go back to all-time highs. And you're going to say, man, I'm glad I made those decisions. When the market came down and valuations came into focus, what was my common thing? I kept saying valuations. Shout out to the Wolf, Moatani, right? I gave him ton of love. Right here on these Zooms. Valuations came into focus. And like I said, things happen faster sometimes than you even think. You blink twice and this thing be cooking to the downside. So let's talk. Last thing on crypto, we're going to talk Coinbase Global Inc. Appreciate Coinbase for all of their love that they've shown us. Let's talk Coinbase. Night, night. Night, night, Coin. It's about to go to bed. Bedtime. Nap. It ain't dead because you got a lot of people, we say things are dead. I want to be mindful of that. Let's pull Kano. Good old Kano. 2x leverage. All right, let's get Kano. NASDAQ. There we go. $22. Jeez. Where's Kano inverting it? Uh-oh. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. $22, really? That fast? Like I said, where's the best price to get Kano? Where's the best price to get Kano? $9 to $12. If I told you at 60, you could get Kano at 9 to 12, you would take it, right? You would take Kano at 9 to 12, just like you would take ETH-U when it was $160. Remember, ETH-U was right here at $160. I just told you got a shot to get it at 22. That's exciting to me. Kano's at 22 right now. I'm telling you, you got a shot to get it at $9 to $12. The question is, when it gets there, you gonna take your shot? You gonna take your shot at $9, $12 here on Kano? $9, $12? Because what if it get back? Remember, last time it was here is April. Then shot to 70, 7Xer. We ain't saying it happens that fast. The piece that I want to say is a good asset in Coinbase. Let's talk prices and levels. Best price, 140. You heard it here first. That's calling for a 50% drop until the best price materializes. 140. 140. So 140, I want you to put that level on your chart, and I want you to make sure that you jot it down. 140 is going to be that best price scenario. Best prices don't always come. What's a good favorable price? I would say roughly around 180, 170, 170, 180. That's a good price. If it was to go back there, I think you could take a shot at it. Kano would probably, Kano would be down there to probably about 12 to 14 bucks. Ideally, around 9 to 12 is going to be our best price, though. If it goes to $9, buy it, forget you bought it, close it. Just it's over. You get what I'm saying? Just close it up. This will be the time that you could see a Coinbase negative $30 day. Remember, when Coinbase go up $30 in a day, everyone's happy. When it comes down $30, it's not the same thing. So I want to stress that here now, right? Coinbase could have you seeing a $30 drop day. But remember, when the market is going up, that's what you see, right? I got a question about Soxo. We not even at no conversation for Soxo, guys. We ain't even gonna talk Soxo. It was down 10% yesterday. It's down 8% today. Listen, it ain't enough pain in this street to even think about a triple leverage QQQ, T triple Q, or even a Soxo. So as far as Soxo, no, we wouldn't touch Soxo at all right now. We wouldn't touch Soxo at 20 bucks either. We would only touch Soxo maybe below 15. So let me make sure that's stressed. Best price, $7 to $10. Same price every time. So no, don't touch Soxo. It ain't time to implement that. That's a lot of pain away from even thinking about a Soxo. I'm gonna say that. This market is nowhere near ready for a Soxo, right? For us to get involved. That would be us. That would be bad business for us. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The semiconductor equities are way too over leveraged at these levels. SMH is still above 300. I wouldn't think about a Soxo unless SMH was below 220. Soxo, so you're hearing me now. Soxo below 220, right? Soxo below 220. And this is when you stay prepared, now you ain't got to get ready. When you already got these levels, boom, you ain't got to get ready. I want people to know all of these levels. So worst case scenarios, once again, we ain't wishing for nothing to happen. But if it happens, why wouldn't you want to be in position to be able to capitalize? Why would you want to be put in a bad spot and you like, what should I do now? You would rather prepare months in advance, weeks in advance, before maybe the inevitable comes in and happens, right? So that's what I do want to stress to people is we would rather prepare now versus wait and then you ain't prepared. You ain't strapped up. You rather have it and not need it. In that case, right? You rather have it and not need it versus not have it and need it. That's just reality. You rather have it just in case you need it versus not have it and be saying, man, I wish I had something to protect myself. Wish I had something, right? So 95K here on Bitcoin. AVGO is next on deck. AVGO, which is 333 right now. One of our favorite companies. Bedtime, though. It ain't dead. And let me tell you where it goes to take its nap. I want you to put this level on your alerts, 325. So it's no confusion. AVGO breaks below 325 is going to 282. Hear me now. AVGO below 325 is going to 282. So at 325, it better be some money there. Otherwise, bedtime, go take a quick nap. It'll be at 282. You'll blink fast. AVGO will have a $10, $15 down day. So you can play with AVGO if you want to. It'll wipe those gains right off the face. Let's talk Amazon. Best price for Amazon is 150 to 160. So let's get that out the way. Good price for Amazon to buy is 190 to 200. Let's just make that clear. Let's talk AMZN real quick and a couple things. Now with AMZN, Amazon, and this is good because I don't even have Amazon charted on this side of my screen. It's on the other. But I don't think I ever really look at Amazon on this side. So that's what it is. No worries. With Amazon, though, notice that 228 is really next. I want you guys to watch that 228 underneath, pay attention underneath 233. So I want you guys to watch those levels here on AMZN. Downside action, right? So I dropped, taking a look at Amazon. Those are your levels. AVGO, like I said, below 325, right here, that low from October. It is coming back here to 282. You could play with AVGO if you want to. And I'm telling you here now, it's coming down. It'll drop $50 off the sky below that 325. So you can play with AVGO if you want to. No, don't ask me about AVGX because the answer is no. I wouldn't touch AVGX unless it was $20 a share. It's currently 48. These 2X lever instruments, they all ain't on a discount. And I want to stress that. They all not on a discount. So don't go crazy with it. Do not go crazy with it. All right. So those are my thoughts there. Ticker Webull is $8.68. $6 to $7. You better grab it. Webull, $6 come, no questions. You just press buy, you open that brokerage account, and you press buy. Let's talk about these frothy names. CoreWeave. Let's get an update on Circle. Circle Internet Group and CoreWeave, two names, IPO. What's the first tickers to drop? Frothy. The names that are frothy. They already went to bed, so they're going to be, unfortunately, and I want to use my phrases wisely. I was about to say something I shouldn't say. I slowed myself down. That's that intelligence kicking in. But I'm going to tell you this. They ain't going to go for a nap, but they're going to go for a nice little retreat, and they won't be back for a couple weeks, right? And in terms of markets, they ain't going to be back for a few months, maybe a couple years. But let me tell you this. When CoreWeave gets down to $50, when Circle Internet gets down to $50, they're going to be telling you not to buy. They're going to be saying that ticker's dead. Circle's dead. CoreWeave's dead, right? All of that stuff. At $50 for both tickers, I want you to go to your brokerage account and I want you to buy a little bit of shares. CoreWeave and Circle Internet Group, both synonymous with each other right there. Just remember, $50, set the alert and write this down. When they both hit 50, I want you to go buy a little something. Don't drop a big bag, but buy a little something. And when they both hit 50, that's when I'll cover them again. Until then, I'm not going to talk about them like that. It is what it is with CoreWeave and Circle Internet Group. I'm telling you here now, just like I did months ago. I said new IPOs get slaughtered after lockup period ends or anytime any issues happen in the market. Circle has went to sleep. CoreWeave has went to sleep. These would be the first names coming down, and that's what we have, right? This is exactly what we have here now. So pay attention. Pay attention. CoreWeave and Circle Internet Group, they're on the downside. When it comes down here, a couple things to look at, right? You have SMCI. Let me get SM Sizzle. $27. It's coming. I want to hear none of that $21. $17 best price. $17.21 best price. I don't want to hear nothing about it. All I want to know is if you buying or not. I don't want to have no discussions when it gets down there because I want you to be paying attention to the things I'm saying here now. We're talking about things that's going to happen here in the future. And when it does, I don't want no questions about it. All we want to know is, did you pull the trigger? Did you bust a move? Did you make a move on that ticker that you were looking at and you were highlighting and talking about? That's the question. Be proactive and not reactive. Don't wait on me to tell you everything when the answers is right here. And now you got it. And now you can piece your things together. So go ahead and have, right, that name set up, SMCI, right? That's going to be set up right there for you. All right. So let's talk levels here on the SPY, QQQ today. As we get ready to round about the rest of the tickers to be released, gave you guys a little bit of preview, right? But now we're here at 666, right? 666, make a wish, right? Now 660, 660, and then you got 654. Let's talk about the worst case scenarios for, hey, if that VIX is cracking 22, right? It's make or break time right now. Because the VIX is right here, it's cracking 22. We're up 11% early. If the Qs don't bounce at 600 and we don't bounce here at 666, we're going to 660 and 592 on the QQQ. So it's imperative that we do bounce here. Otherwise, you're going to lose another $6 to $7 on each indices ETF. So keep that in mind. If we don't remain above, if we don't form a DB here, that's it. We don't form a double bottom here on the QQQ, that's it. The QQQ can tend to fall a lot faster. Let me give you guys an Oracle rerun. Oracle, I want to highlight this one. 196 is coming, baby. 198, $2 off. 198. Let me make sure that I make this clear for people. Oracle, pay attention. 198, 191. Oracle ain't done falling yet. I'm going to let you guys know this now. So Oracle is not done falling yet. Oracle is going to come down here to this downside. What strike should you be looking at if you're looking for a re-entry, or where should you be paying attention to? If Oracle don't get back above 216, it's over. It'll make if it pops, it's going to come right back here to 216. A rejection at 216 is going to be your perfect entry on Oracle. So I want to make that clear as day. Remar, go ahead, bro. I think you had your hand up. Go ahead, my brother. Hold on one second. Maybe it was an accident. Let me ask him to unmute. There it is. There you go. Go ahead, bro. You should be able to. Mute again. There you go,
my
brother.
bad. My bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was just saying the Q's done broke 600.
Oh yeah. It's already it's down. It's down here to this downside. So the
Yeah.
QQQ, some liquidity better step in. Otherwise, you're gonna see 660 on this Nasdaq. I mean 660 on the SPY, and you're gonna see 592 here on this QQQ. So it better come in. That volume better come in, because I'm gonna show you right here on this time frame. Broke below 606. That was 4 o'clock this morning, by the way. So 4 o'clock. I've been up since 3. 4 o'clock is when it happened. That's when it started. This is why we started to see, because we broke through this trend line. Oracle right here, 198 is on the way. You can blink twice and it'll happen, especially if we get down there to that 592. Liquidity better be on the way at this market opening. I'm telling you here now. Otherwise, it's night-night. 596 get cracked, 592 would be here sooner than what you think. So Oracle coming down. I'm stressing that to you guys here now. Oracle's going to move here to this downside. Yep. And then let's get our DIA. Before this, the Dow was trying to make a run for 50K. That's gotten canceled. Christmas got canceled on the DIA for right now, right? So Christmas is canceled, at least for right now. 472, but let me set this level for you. 470. Want everyone to put that down, which is 47,000. Below that is coming down to 464. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Caterpillar. Short Caterpillar underneath I think it's 545. Hold on one sec. Well, shoot, we're already here. Exactly. Right to the T. I hadn't looked at Caterpillar this morning. Right to the tick, we caught it. So I want you to short Caterpillar, because Caterpillar can bring down the DIA just like it brought it up. Caterpillar be coming down. So right underneath here at 545. Right there, I want you to watch CAT below that level. Right, you're coming down there to probably about 530 and then 510. Realistically, right, the Dow could probably lose another 2,000 points. We could be staring at a Dow coming back to 45K. Right, so I do want to put that out there. DIA, especially, think about it. JPM getting below 300. That ain't good. Goldman Sachs getting below that 870. I'm assuming 770. That's not good. 770. That's not going to be good. Caterpillar coming down. Then those are the names to pay attention to right there in the DIA. So I just wanted to come on and make sure I stress this. I'm going to stop this Zoom here now, so I'll make sure this recording gets in. But that's it for me today. I prepped everybody. Class will be in session tomorrow. We live here in Atlanta. We got classes the next 4 days. So be in the room. Make sure you're catching these recordings. I wanted to make sure I came on and gave you guys everything I had for this morning because it was important. I understand I was off, but what I want to stress to people is if this market start acting up, I'll be back on very quickly. So we'll see what happens. Something catastrophe happens. I'll try to pop up a Zoom instantaneously. I do got some things I need to take care of today, but you guys can know to expect to hear from me tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. I haven't changed the time, but Monday we are locked in for the whole day. So Monday, 8, well, I think it's like 9, right? 8 or 9. I'm gonna check that time again till 4. So we're doing an all-day session on Monday. So all-day session on Monday is in session. I'll change that time on the schedule. So I just want to make sure I'm here, available. Like I said, things, rough patch, right? We've hit this point in the market, hit the peak. But now it's time to lock in and take this thing serious and get us back, let's get us back rolling. If you're down, feeling down right now, listen, we're gonna get you back rolling. That's what we're here for. Not just for the high times. Oh, I called it. Nah, let's get this work. This is what it takes. So I appreciate everybody for their time and attendance here today. And be abreast to the chat. I'm about to drop that PDF document. And I'll see you guys soon. Y'all have a blessed one.